And the concept of the every civilization, the when is trying to overpowering another civilization, another culture, make an act of violence. So I translated this concept, which is a concept that coming from Joseph Conrad book, Earth of Darkness, where Francis Coppola took the main idea of Apocalypse Now. In a visual concept, I was trying to use artificial light on top to natural light, artificial color on top to natural color. In fact, I was creating a kind of visual conflict in order to underline the main concept of the ideology of the film. The very strong artificial lights that the America was turning on when there is the Playboy Bunny show, for example, at night. They are very violent. They make those kind of strong line on the screen. They are really creating something disturbing, something aggressive, compared to maybe something very nice, soft light of the dusk into a forest. When I saw that the Americans, they were using kind of color smoke. Color smoke, they have their own meaning, their own symbol. It's a kind of language that they were using to tell the helicopter to stay away, to be prepared, to come down on the ground. So they were using green or red or yellow, so on. To me, it was an incredible source of language. It's using this kind of artificial color into the normal color of the natural element, a rice field, or a sunset, or a dusk, or whatever. For example, when I did the test of the anamorphic lenses, particularly at that time, I'm talking about 1976, we made a specific new series because I love Cooke lenses. The Cooke lenses are English lenses with the anamorphic lenses in front. If you put a very strong light in front, they make a kind of strong diffraction on the lenses, which can be not a good effect visually, technically. To me, it was fantastic because it was telling exactly as a principle what I want to say. In that case, become really something that help the concept coming out to tell that really you're doing a violence in something visually. In another movie, that was completely not useful. That was totally wrong, let's say.
您说那个光与黑暗可以创作出一个想象的世界，那您是如何把那个科兹的上教，想象到一个一直处在阴影或者是黑暗的一边呢？
Because at that point, the coronal cast become a symbol. It cannot be seen by a normal human being. It's a symbol of somebody arriving to be so completely against the concept of war, the concept of making aggression in another place. They was using the violence to tell the war was wrong. So the main leader in the United States, they want to remove him, taking him away from the command, terminate the colonial curse with extremely prejudice. That was the line. Everybody can have a different opinion, I can have a different approach, I can have a different idea. My approach was the fact to use the symbol of black. Black is like matter, it's like the unconscious, what I was saying this morning. Something unknown. And it's from that black, there is only very little pieces of light coming out, a little piece of the physiognomy of this colonel is like the truth that is coming out from lies and step by step reveal the horror that the war is about. So practically the portrait of this colonel is coming out step by step, till you reveal the real concept of his man. That sequence has become a symbolic sequence, how through the use of light and shadows you can tell something very, 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 very strong. To have the courage Can you imagine a movie that the cost of Apocalypse Now, with a star like Marlon Brando, you put him totally in darkness, and you want to reveal him only piece by piece? Take some kind of will that you really believe that is right. And Francis Coppola was with me, and Marlon was even more with us, because this is the only way he could portray that kind of character. If you put just a normal flat light in front to him, it become not strong. He could not play the part. Once again, the most important thing is your concept, your cinematography concept when you presented. Here, when I saw how much was strong the German expressionist painting, and I said to Warren Beatty, definitely Dick Tracy came from this kind of painting. And I used him next side by side to show the kind of strong contrast, a strong color compared to those kind of images is practically something that in the principle something that I believe and I'm able to create in those kind of images. Otherwise I'm totally lost. If you creating a concept, a visual concept, and you believe it, you become very strong. I make you an example. You see this street red? Those kind of concept is coming from painter of the German expressionist. It's not here, the copy, but I have in another book. And I proposed it for the picture. And we start filming, and while we were doing the visual effect, we were filming with VistaVision negative, big like that. And I put the color on the street to make him some plate. After the special effect company, they were doing all overimposition of different other images. I never said in a public this kind of story, but I think it's time to say it. The production designer was not any longer Dean Tavolaris. They was used to work with Francis Coppola for many films, because he was busy with preparing a little movie with Francis, and so Warren Beatty replaced him with Dick Silbert, the same production designer that we did Reds. Dean Tavolaris understood this concept originally. When Dick Silbert is coming, Richard Silbert was used to see film in black and white. Let's say period film for him was black and white or monochromatic, kind of brownish tonality. I couldn't have the vision to see color. Don't get me wrong, Richard Silbert was unfortunately died, a great production designer, but he has his own vision, particularly in some kind of film. He created, like for example, Reds. He did a magnificent work, but he didn't have the same kind of visionary element to see very primary color in this film. So after he filmed several scenes, he called for a very strong special meeting. The producer and director, Warren Beatty, the editor, Richard Marx, the costume designer, the makeup artist, myself, because he wanted to say something very important. So he took some frame of what we filmed with the red street, blow up, he put it against the wall. Nearby had some sketches that his own department did in a kind of brownish tonality, where they have to draw in the building they're supposed to be at this kind of street. And he said something very strong. He said, in my opinion, and he's very well respected in Hollywood. He did many films. He was a very strong character. This street red doesn't work with those kind of drawing that we're doing now. Doesn't match the two images together. We have to refilming every scene that we use at the color street. Warren said, my God, Vittorio, can we do anything in printing? Can we reduce the saturation of that color? Can we do something so we don't have to reshoot? Because reshoot means a lot of money. And everybody was looking at me. And I said, well, I was shocked that was being accused in such way. And I said, well, Warren, honestly, we can try, but I have a big doubt because it's the decision and the choice is so clear, so specific, so strong, that I don't think they will be possible to remove in printing. And Warren said, well, and now what? I said, Warren, in my opinion, through all these images I see on that wall, the only interesting image is this. The other doesn't seem to belong to this movie because they don't have any concept. Very strongly I said that. And I was able to say something very clear because I believe it. And I said, Warren, do you remember when at the beginning, we started to talk about this visual style of this picture? That's what's supposed to be the style of this picture, not that one. That one belonged to 50 years ago in another story. And I explained again to everybody the concept. And Warren said, Richard, seems that you have to redo the sketches, redo the drawing. And that's what closed the meeting. And Richard Filbert gained an Oscar for production design. But you understand the concept, the idea. If you have an idea and you believe it, make you very strong.
就是在胶片的年代是无法就是实时看到样片的，就是您在现场是如何控制这么高反差的光比呢？还有就是能分享一下您在片场的曝光经验。
No, in the digital era, it's much more simple because you see right away, because you have to have some kind of knowledge. You need to be a cinematographer.
我有2个问题，就是麻烦您记一下，我就依次问了。第一个问题呢，就说是我想知道，就是现代启示录的导演和制片人是怎么样邀请到斯特拉罗先生去合作这部电影的？就是因为他之前好像也没有在美国拍过片。这是第一个问题，紧跟着就说是他是怎么样说服导演，跟导演沟通，运用这样那个强烈的反差的光和这种色彩、色光来进行的合作，因为我想这个东西一定是要和导演、制片人结成一个高度的一个统一的一个意见，这是第一个问题。第二个问题呢，就是技术方面的问题。我知道这个电影是在70年代末拍摄的，那个时候呢，就是那个胶片的感光度呢非常的低，大概是100度、200度。这个影片里头有大量的这种夜景，并且是全景式的这种展示。我想知道处理这么复杂的夜景的这个光线的时候，是有什么样的技巧？对，就是第二个技术问题，就说是他当时用的这个摄影机跟这个镜头的这个光圈跟这个胶片呢，可以说是当时来说，在那么高反差的夜景里面呢，可以说遇到了什么样的困难啊
Maybe you were distracted. Well, I was lucky in my life that I meet person like Francis Coppola, for example. There has a very big dream. When somebody has a dream, they really wants to do it, I think that maybe he need to realize that dream, that you are coming to helping him. He will do everything to give you all the freedom that you want in order to have your collaboration. Francis saw the conformist. He fall in love so much in the conformist, they say, I want Vittorio. Period. He was so strong because a few weeks early that we spoke, he came down from the academy with 3 Oscars in one hand on The Godfather Part 2, production, direction, and writing. He was a very strong producer, director, distributor, everything. He can never do such movie like Apocalypse Now without being so powerful. So When he explained to me the concept of Apocalypse Now, I decided that, yes, that was something that belonged to me, and I prepared my visual concept. We were sitting on the ground into the apartment in the suite on Sydney, and explaining to him my concept. He loved it because it was a new concept. That's why he called me. Once he loved the concept, they want to try, he gave me all the freedom to do that. In another word, you should become responsible. You cannot say, well, the director wants that. The producer told me to do that. I didn't have time. I didn't have the equipment. No, no, no. You have to do, doesn't matter what. That's why in Europe, in Italy particularly, we are fighting to have the copyright of the cinematography. We say we are co-author of the film, because this idea is my idea, nobody else. And believe me, don't worry, don't be afraid. If the director feels that his collaborator is bringing some strong idea, he'll love it. He wants to you. And nobody will fight for you. Francis fought with the union in the United States to have myself and my crew in the movie in Los Angeles. And so was Warren, because they know that they need me for that movie. They need to realize their own dream. Their dream should become your dream. It was not written in the script, the original script, the scene when the young boy was taken away from his mother and brought to the Forbidden City, that was filmed at night. In speaking with the director and having the idea to say, this is like another cut of the umbilical cord. He practically is born as an emperor when they take the child away from the mother. And so we have to use, and I will explain it to you after tomorrow, the complete concept of the last emperor, this kind of tonality of color in order to give the feeling that something starts, that something is born, an emperor. The film is what you said, the Eastman Kodak film, there was 100 ASA. Today you can very easily have any video camera that has at least 800. But sometimes when you are put it in a kind of corner and you don't know where to go, some more idea come out. I left Italy for the Philippines with the same equipment that I had in 1900. It was a generator 100 kilowatt, 2 arcs, 2 10K, 2 5K, 2 2K, few little mini brute. That's all. And I thought that was enough. I done 1900. 1900 was a big picture. But it was crazy. I was too innocent, too ignorant. Because going into the Philippines at that time, with one generator, if something happened, you are without generator in the Philippines. Before to have another one, you need 1 month for the boat arriving with the new generator. You remember the scene when they are on the little boat, the PBR, and they are arriving, they have the camouflage in the face, the little puppy, the dog, arriving in front to a bridge. That's Dulong Bridge. And they are arriving this place, they go down, they walk, try to understand what is going on. You remember that sequence? Early afternoon, Francis Coppola took me with the boat to say, Vittorio, I would love to start from here, way from the river, and I see very far away the bridge. And we are approaching at night, till we pan, and we see all these people that are desperate, they are screaming and loud, and we see that there is a conflict, bombing, whatever, till we arrive at somebody that says something specific, they have some mail for them. I'm not used to say to the director, it's not possible. I always have to find an idea. So I went to the production designer, and I said, Dean, there is any way that we can visualize the bridge being so far away we really focus on that kind of thing. And he says, okay, Vittorio, I can put all the lights around the bridge. They were doing something like that because Americans are very strange people. Well, even during the war, they tried to make a show. So he put the lights on the bridge. With the equipment that I had, the sensitivity of the film, I have no way to lit all this kind of area in the jungle at night. So I used something idea to put within the image itself. I went to the special effect supervisor. I said, Eddie Flower, can you do me a favor? All the bombing, can you please put just behind the bridge? So anytime there is an explosion, I see the bridge in silhouette. And when it's not an explosion, I see the lights. I say, yes, Vittorio, I can do that. How I can tell you when I need the I said, Vittorio, take a flashlight and give me a signal from the boat, and when you signal, I make an explosion. Of course, I went to the director first. I say, Francis, do you mind if I use the explosion over there? And I asked Dean to put the lights. He said, no, Vittorio, good idea, fantastic. So he was agreed. He knew what I was doing. But after we went for a lot of time over there, we have to pan on the surface, and we see a lot of people. I have only 3 towers with 3 lights, I think 3 brute, no more. So how I can feel all these lights? And I said to my electrician, you start pan the brute over here.